With less than 50 days to go until the general elections, the state of the race is still very much in question. A lot has changed since our last update shortly after Kamala Harris entered the race. Since that time, major events have taken place, among them the Democratic National Convention and what may be the only presidential debate of the general election cycle. Both these two events appear to have elevated Kamala Harris's position in this race, with the real clear polling average of polls now showing her with a 2.2 percentage point lead over the former president. The Decision Desk HQ forecasts have nearly all of the major swing states now listed in the toss-up category and currently predict a very narrow electoral college victory for the Harris camp. The polls taken after the debate have generally favored her more heavily than those taken prior, showing that the general momentum across the nation has trended in Harris's direction since then. The RCP betting odds average currently has Harris with a 52.5% chance of victory over Trump's 46.3%, with the overall pattern moving towards the vice president since the beginning of September. The Decision Desk HQ projections have shown more consistency, with Harris being projected as the slight favorite since mid-August, and the current spread showing Harris with a 55% chance of victory over Trump's 45%. Besides the usual partisan breakdown of the American population over the past two election cycles, these numbers are informed by the current major issues that hold the most importance to the general public, and who voters have the most confidence in to address them. A report from September 9th by Pew Research outlined a number of the most crucial issues to supporters of each candidate, with the economy, immigration, violent crime, and foreign policy serving as the leading issues for Trump supporters, and healthcare, Supreme Court appointments, the economy, and abortion being the highest priorities for Harris supporters. Among these issues, registered voters overall favored Harris on healthcare policy, bringing the country together, issues related to race, and abortion policy, while Trump was favored on issues around law enforcement and criminal justice, the influence of money in politics, foreign policy, immigration, and the economy. Revisiting the electoral map, we will take a look at how all of these changes over the past month have affected our projections for the November 5th presidential election. As always, we will classify each of the states as safe, likely, lean, or tilt for either of the two major candidates. Safe states for our purposes are those we project to be won by greater than 15 points. Likely states are those expected to be decided by between 5 and 15 percentage points, while lean states will have a projected victory margin of between 1 and 5 percentage points. Tilt states will be those expected to be won by either candidate by less than 1 point. Starting off with the safe Democratic states, we expect Kamala Harris to carry her home state of California, Washington, Hawaii, Washington, D.C., Maryland, Delaware, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, and Maine's 1st Congressional District, bringing her total to 112 safe electoral votes. The safe Republican states include Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska at large, along with its 1st and 3rd congressional districts, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, and West Virginia, securing 103 safe electoral votes for Donald Trump. Shifting to the likely states, Kamala Harris is expected to carry Oregon, Colorado, Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, New Mexico, Illinois, Minnesota, New York, New Jersey, New Hampshire, and Maine at large, adding 101 electoral votes to bring her to a safe and likely total of 213 electoral votes. Trump, meanwhile, is expected to carry Alaska, Iowa, Missouri, Ohio, Maine's 2nd congressional district, South Carolina, Texas, and his home state of Florida by likely margins, bringing his total number of expected safe and likely electoral votes to 219. Moving down to the lean states, Kamala Harris is currently projected to win Michigan and Virginia, adding 28 additional electoral votes into her column for an expected total of 241. Trump is currently leading by lean margins in Arizona and Georgia, adding 27 votes to his collection for an expected total of 246 electoral votes. Lastly, the tilt states, which are currently projected to decide the election, are as follows. Kamala Harris is currently expected to narrowly carry Nevada, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, adding 35 votes to her column and narrowly clearing the critical 270 electoral vote threshold to become the 47th president of the United States. Trump is currently leading very narrowly in North Carolina, adding 16 additional votes for a final count of 262. The final result comes out to 276 electoral votes and an election victory for Kamala Harris, and 262 votes for Donald Trump, the closest election since the beginning of the millennia by both electoral vote count and margin of victory across the critical swing states. With the election still over a month away, a lot can happen over the next few weeks to shift this election in either direction. Virtually any movement in Trump's direction across the blue wall or in Nevada will flip the outcome of the election back into his hands, while any Harris gains across the Sun Belt or further difficulty in the Republican camp in North Carolina would increase the expected margin of victory by the Democrats. Thanks so much for watching, and subscribe to our channel for more election content.